ناظرین السلام علیکم، آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں پروگرام پرسپیکٹیو نقطۂ نظر اویس اقبال کے ساتھ جیو ٹی وی پہ۔ ناظرین، میں اور آپ جو اوورسیز پاکستانی ہیں، جہاں کہیں بھی ہم آباد ہیں، اپنے وطن پاکستان اور پاکستان میں رہنے والے پاکستانیوں کو ہمیشہ اپنی دعاؤں میں یاد رکھتے ہیں، اور خاص طور پہ اگر کوئی مشکل آ پڑے تو ہم آگے بڑھ کے اپنا کردار ادا کرنے کی کوشش کرتے ہیں۔ ناظرین، جی ہاں، بات ہو رہی ہے خلق خدا کی خدمت کی، اور جب ہمیں پاکستان میں اپنے ہم وطنوں کی مدد کرنی پڑتی ہے تو ہمیں تلاش ہوتی ہے ایسے ٹرسٹڈ پلیٹ فارمز کی، جی ہاں ناظرین، این جی اوز کی، چیریٹیبل آرگنائزیشنز کی، کہ جن کے تھرو ہم اپنے پاکستانیوں کی مدد کر سکیں۔ یہ وہ آرگنائزیشنز ہیں کہ جن کی وہاں پہ جو ہے وہ فاؤنڈیشنز موجود ہیں، جن کا وہاں پہ کام موجود ہے، اور جنہیں پتہ ہے کہ کس طرح سے آپ کے پیسے کو بروقت اور صحیح طریقے سے مستحقین تک پہنچانا ہے۔ ناظرین، آج کے شو میں ہم بات کریں گے ایک ایسی ہی آرگنائزیشن کے حوالے سے جس کا نام ہیومینٹی ہے، جو امریکہ میں، کینیڈا میں اور دنیا بھر میں پروجیکٹس کر رہی ہے، لیکن پاکستان میں ان کا فوکس کیا ہے، اس پہ ہم بات کریں گے۔ اور اس پہ بات کرنے کے لیے آئی ایم ریئلی ہیپی ٹو ہیو برادر فراز عزیز who is Executive Director of Humaniti, joining me in the studios. Firaaz sahab, assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you, brother Ovais.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where are you from and how long you've been in Canada, and then a bit of a background about Humaniti.
Sure, thank you. So, I was born in British Guyana, and I've been in Canada for a very long time. I grew up in Canada. I've been adopted by Pakistan. It's a beautiful country, fell in love with the country and the food. My background actually is wealth management. I worked with a number of banks. But for the past 2 decades, I've been involved in the charity space, as you say, philanthropy space, with a number of organizations, charities, and non-profits. And I've been now involved with, as the first executive director of Humaniti. I've been here about 2.5 years.
This organization focuses what part of the world and where it's headquartered?
Yeah, so Humaniti is headquartered in Markham, Ontario, and our focus is global. Humaniti has a global approach to our work. We work in, as an example, of course, Pakistan. We work in the Middle East. We work in Africa. Of course, we work domestically. But over 85% of our programming is global because our donor base is global.
Donor base is global. So what percentage of your focus is happening in Pakistan nowadays?
Before our trip to Pakistan, just before Ramadan, Pakistan was a focus in terms of some of the work that we did in emergency relief because of the floods. But quite frankly, after the visit to Pakistan, it's, I would say either number 1 or number 2 in terms of our focus.
So your visit to Pakistan was just a few months ago, and I had the pleasure of accompanying you. I had the pleasure of seeing the credibility of Humanity and your work in Pakistan. This was your first time ever being in Pakistan?
Oh, absolutely. It was an amazing, amazing experience. First time in Pakistan. Fell in love with the country, fell in love with the food. My body didn't like the food as much, but it was a remarkable experience.
So which part of Pakistan you visited?
So we were in Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore, been in Faisalabad. We toured the country. And again, we were there to visit the projects that Humanity has been funding with a number of agencies. And so it was remarkable to witness firsthand the incredible work being done by so many incredible agencies. And it was humbling, but it was also very inspiring.
Inspiring. So which city of Pakistan you loved the most?
Oh boy, that's
you
a hard one.
You got to answer this.
This is a hard one because of course everybody prepared me for Karachi.
Yes, okay.
And then they said the food capital was Lahore. But honestly speaking, I spent almost a week in Karachi, so I will say that, my heart got attached to Karachi. But Islamabad was great, and Lahore is a very special place.
Awesome. So going forward, one of your key focus is Pakistan, and this is where most of our viewers are from Pakistani background. So can you please help us understand what are some of the key projects that you are investing in Pakistan?
Absolutely. One of the most amazing things for me, Brother Ovais, to see in Pakistan, I was not prepared for that level of, suffering. I've never seen that in my life. I've never witnessed that. What was remarkable, but in spite of the struggles that people face in Pakistan, so many, millions of people face, they were very resilient. They had a lot of, I would say, tawakkul in Allah. They had a lot of belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was going to take care of them, and they were willing to work, So we're engaged in water, providing clean water to folks across the country, and in particular in Balochistan. We're involved in healthcare. We've got great partners in healthcare. We're, of course, involved in food security, in education, orphan support. So many of these areas, as you know, NGOs work. And, of course, in emergency relief. We were there just after the floods, right? We were there in early this year. And so we were essentially there to observe and to be part of the great work that's being done by so many amazing agencies.
Awesome. So ناظرین، چونکہ مجھے موقع ملا ان کے ساتھ پاکستان وزٹ کرنے کا to see what Humanity is all about and what they're doing in Pakistan, why not we show you this video clip so you can see کہ ہیومینٹی پاکستان میں میرے لیے، آپ کے لیے، ہمارے ملنے والوں کے لیے کس طرح سے اپنا کردار ادا کر رہی ہے۔
50,000 children in Pakistan every year that die from water contamination.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Firaaz Azeez and I lead an amazing organization called Humaniti. Based in Canada, we're a global non-profit focused on change, focused on enabling good, focused on making impact.
Very conservative community which do not allow their women to go out into the city, go out into the universities and all. So we are, trying to actually doing a multifaceted approach here.
This is a facility of hope. And we have superheroes in here. They're all superheroes. They're providing great service to this community, to this community for free.
These areas were badly affected. And most importantly, these people, this is a community, recently, they converted to Islam about 6 years ago. And they are struggling financially. They were actually cut off from their, their families, large extended family.
There are over 1 million deaf children in Pakistan, yet hardly 5% have access to education.
ڈیف ریچ 8 لوکیشن سے کام کر رہا ہے۔ کراچی اور سندھ کے علاقے میں ہماری 6 لوکیشنز ہیں۔
Education, skills training is not something that just affects that one child, but impacts on their whole family and community.
ہیومینٹی فاؤنڈیشن ہے کہ بہت محنت سے کام کر رہے ہیں، دوستوں سے گزارش ہے کہ ان کی ہیلپ کریں، اللہ تعالیٰ ان کی اس محنت کو قبول فرمائے۔
جس طرح میں نے ہیلتھ کے حوالے سے بات کی ہے کہ موبائل ہیلتھ ہاسپٹل کتنا امپورٹنٹ ہے کہ ہیلتھ کو ہم لوگوں کے گھروں تک لے کے جائیں، ولیجز تک لے کے جائیں، اور اسی طرح ایجوکیشن کا رول ہمیشہ سے بڑا امپورٹنٹ رہا ہے، اور ایجوکیشن میں خاص طور پہ بیٹیوں کی تعلیم، میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ بیٹیاں ہی معاشرے کو لے کے چلتی ہے۔ پڑھی لکھی ماں ہوگی، پڑھی لکھی بیٹی ہوگی تو وہی آگے ملک کے جو نئے نوجوان نسل جو آئے گی وہ پڑھی لکھی ہوگی۔ میں ہوں شاہد آفریدی اینڈ فرسٹ آف آل آئی وانٹ ٹو تھینکس ہیومینٹی۔
Assalamu alaikum ladies and gentlemen, this is me Shafaat Ali. So I'm on board with Humanity for these children. They need support اور ان کی support صرف آپ لوگ۔
Salam, this is Muniba Masari. I'm an artist, a speaker, and goodwill ambassador for you and Women Pakistan. While we are busy living a happy, fulfilled, and blessed life, let's not forget those brothers and sisters who are struggling on a daily basis. I would request you all to donate your zakat and sadaqah to Team Humanity so that they can help people in Pakistan.
یہ سارے بچے انہوں نے پتہ نہیں زندگی میں آخری مرتبہ صاف پانی کب پیا تھا۔ اگر یہ روزانہ صاف پانی پئیں گے، اللہ تعالیٰ اس دن کہ جب سب کی زبانیں پیاس سے باہر آ رہی ہوں گی، یعنی کہ روزے محشر، انشاءاللہ اللہ تعالیٰ مجھے اور آپ کو اس روز سیراب کرے گا۔ ہیومینٹی کے ذریعے آئیے یہ کام کرتے ہیں، ہمارے ہاتھ مضبوط ہوں گے۔
Humanity has been supporting food, shelter, education, healthcare. Wherever there is suffering, they're counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. So will you help us this Ramadan? Will you make a difference in the life of a child, of a mother, of a family, of a community, of a nation, and of the world?
جی ناظرین، جس طرح سے آپ نے دیکھا کہ یہ جو چیریٹیبل ادارہ ہے ہیومینٹی، کینیڈا میں، امریکہ میں اور دیگر ممالک کے اندر مجھے اور آپ کو یہ اپرچونٹی فراہم کر رہا ہے کہ ہم اس ٹرسٹڈ پلیٹ فارم کو اپنی زکوٰۃ، اپنی خیرات، اپنے عطیات ان کو دیں تاکہ یہ ان پیسوں کو بروقت مستحقین تک پہنچا سکے۔ Brother Firaaz, in this video clip, you basically showed our viewers what humanity is doing in Pakistan. So what is the amount of money that you plan to put towards Pakistan in the next 12 months?
That's a great question. At a minimum, we've made pledges to a number of organizations. One of the things I learned about being in Pakistan, of course, is that the need is great. And every organization, mashallah, we met is doing great work. And so, whatever we pledged in 2021 is going to be more than double or tripled this year. But to give one perspective, many of you probably saw recently that Shahid Afridi is in Toronto for his cricket, but he's also here to talk about the great work that his foundation, Shahid Afridi Foundation, does. We are a partner with Shahid Afridi Foundation. We've been involved with him in terms of, responding to the flood victims in terms of food. We've been involved in some of his medical work. And really importantly, as you know, anyone who knows Shahid Afridi knows that education is very key and very close to his heart. So Humaniti has made a significant pledge, inshallah, in that over the next year, he runs 15 schools, the foundation runs 15 schools, so we've pledged to support, it's called incentivizing education, which is really not just about providing education, but providing support in terms of providing ata to the family in each of his schools. So just that project alone is about $1.5 million.
And so you're committed to fund that?
So Humaniti is pledged to support that for at least the next year. And which means that we're supporting over 5,500 students in these 15 schools and their families to ensure that the kids stay in school, they get an education, and that the family doesn't have to worry about making ends meet, so to speak. So this is just one agency, and we work with a number of them in Pakistan, just to give you a sense of the scope of the work that we're involved in.
Very good, माशाल्लाह. नाज़रीन, यहाँ पे हम एक छोटी सी ब्रेक लेंगे. ब्रेक के बाद जब वापस आएंगे तो बात करेंगे जिस प्रोग्राम का इन्होंने जिक्र किया कि 5,500 students are going to be supported for their education as well as जो उनकी खुराक के जो वसाइल हैं, क्योंकि वो बच्चे जब उनकी फैमिली के अंदर खाने पीने के मामलात नहीं होते तो फैमिली की ख्वाहिश क्या होती है कि अगर मेरा बच्चा 10 साल का भी है, 12 साल का भी है, तो बाहर जाके कोई लेबर काम करे और कुछ पैसे घर पे लेके आए. और ये वो बच्चे हैं कि इन वजूहात की बिना पे उनकी ख्वाब उनकी आंखों में ही रह जाते हैं. नाज़रीन, ब्रेक के बाद भी हमारे साथ रहिएगा और आपको बताएंगे किस तरह से ह्यूमैनिटी और शाहिद आफरीदी फाउंडेशन इन बच्चों के ख्वाबों को ताबीर फराहम कर रहा है. हमारा रवैया और तर्ज अमल दोनों जन्म लेते हैं हमारे एहसासात और जज्बात से, जो वजूद पाते हैं हमारी सोच और नुक्ता नज़र से. मुस्बत सोच रखना और हर मामले में नुक्ता फहम होना बनता है बाइस इंसानों और माशरों के दरमियान अच्छे बाहमी ताल्लुकात का और बर्दाश्त का. तो आइए शामिल हो जाएं मुस्बत सोच के इस सफ़र में. देखिए प्रोग्राम नुक्तः नज़र ओवैस इकबाल के साथ सिर्फ GEO TV पर.
Here's a headache remedy. Whenever you're experiencing a headache, by eating 10 to 12 almonds is the equivalent of having 2 aspirins.
Brought to you by Greenish Natural Health.
घर खरीदना या हो बेचना, कोई तजर्बाकार और ईमानदार रियल्टर हो देखना, तो रियल एस्टेट की फील्ड में आपका दोस्त, आपका रफीक ताबिश तौफीक. If you're searching for an honest and experienced realtor, please call Tabish Tawfiq of Remax Champions Realty Inc. 647-518-3000 or visit tabishhomes.com. आपका रफीक ताबिश तौफीक, ताबिश तौफीक. 647-518-3000.
Babu Pan and Shawarma, now serving from 4 locations.
नाज़रीन, वेलकम बैक. बहुत शुक्रिया. ब्रेक के बाद भी आप हमारे साथ रहे. आज हम बात कर रहे हैं ह्यूमैनिटी, जो एक चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है बेस्ड आउट ऑफ मार्करम इन कनाडा, और हमारे साथ मौजूद है फिराज अजीज़, जो कि एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर है ह्यूमैनिटी के. ब्रदर फिराज, बिफोर गोइंग टू द ब्रेक, यू वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रोग्राम दैट यू pledged to fund with Shahid Afridi Foundation about $1.5 million a year. Can you give us a little bit more details of what kind of children are going to these schools and what is that incentivized program is all about?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, as you know, throughout Pakistan we have many students who don't have access to education. That's a challenge. We have a very young population, as I've learned in Pakistan. The reality of it is that if we really want to provide for the future of Pakistan, we need to educate the kids. And so alhamdulillah, through our partnership with Shahid Afridi Foundation, we're supporting schools. And these are schools in very difficult areas that I've visited. People who are struggling. And as a result of that, parents want to have their kids go to work to support the family. So this program is called Incentivizing Education. It's to encourage the parents to keep the kids in school. So the kids have access to high quality education, number one. Number two is that we're providing atta to the family so that they can prepare their roti and their basic foods so that they don't feel that they need to pull their children out of school. And so when we think about it, it's about providing education, it's about food security, it's about economic sustainability for the family. And alhamdulillah, this is something which will quite frankly change the trajectory of that child, of that family, of that community. And so we're of course thrilled to work with Shahid Afridi Foundation, having visited the work that he does and seen the opportunities that these kids can have, inshallah. It really is very inspiring to see.
Inspiring to see. And as you mentioned, Shahid Afridi is in Canada nowadays. GT20 is happening.
Yes.
So a lot of cricket players are around and people are quite excited. But the great thing is that these players are also involved in raising money for the good cause in Pakistan, such as Shahid Afridi. And I know Humaniti, we recently did one event where we raised about $70,000 to support 200 plus children.
Correct.
So the cost to support one child is about $25 a month.
Yes.
And that $25 a month is giving them education as well as 40 kg of flour each month.
Yes.
Not for alone him or herself, that flour is for the family.
Absolutely.
So $25 a month, you can support a child and the family for the whole month.
Correct.
And that's the program you're funding for the next year, 5,500 students.
Correct.
It's amazing, mashallah. And one question comes to mind that people ask oftentimes is, if you're partnering with Shahid Afridi Foundation, then why don't we donate to them directly? Why through you?
Yeah, mashallah, that's a great question. The reality of it is that Humaniti, mashallah, as a global NGO, we work with a number of agencies. And so when you donate to Humaniti, you have an opportunity not just to work with Shahid Afridi Foundation, but many agencies in Pakistan. And really, Humaniti, as you know, we're about enabling impact. We want to drive the most impact. And so, I always give the analogy, if you've got money to invest, you might put it in a bank, or you might actually, if you have enough money and you want to make impact, you have a financial advisor who tells you, that's my background, of course.
Nice.
And so Humaniti is that for donors. It gives a donor the opportunity, that they can work with a variety of agencies across Pakistan and across the globe, and that they can drive significant impact.
That totally makes sense. And so one area of focus is education. The other you talked about is clean water. And the third one was?
Food, of course.
Food, and also the healthcare.
100%.
So in 4 areas, Humaniti is putting their dollars and donors trust in providing those services. All of it is going through Shahid Afridi Foundation, or as you mentioned, you work with other agencies.
So currently, alhamdulillah, Humaniti has been about 2.5 years working in Pakistan. We've developed strong relationships, including Shahid Afridi. But one of the things we're trying to do is deepen our relationship. The reality is, for a Canadian entity working in a place like Pakistan, everybody's always interested in how do you monitor it? How do you ensure that things are being done the right way? And this is something that we're exploring with Shahid Afridi Foundation, to take a bigger role to make sure that they can monitor the kind of work that we do in Pakistan.
So what amount is a good amount, which is considered a good donation?
Every dollar helps, Brother Ovais. Every dollar helps. One of the things I learned in Pakistan is that why should we care? Why should I donate $1? How will $1 make a difference? And one person said to me so beautifully, Brother Firaaz, you just give the $1, you leave the rest to Allah.
Subhanallah.
So every penny matters, every dollar matters. And I saw it firsthand in Pakistan and in my travels across the globe, where every dollar that you add, because my dollar will get added to a dollar from someone else, and before you know it, it's a very big amount. And at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put the barakah in it.
MashaAllah. And since you are running this charity and you're seeing all the operations, so how do you see somebody who is consistent in, let's say, putting his donation on a monthly basis, versus somebody who just comes in and put dollars once and then forget about it?
Yeah.
What's the difference between these two kinds of profiles?
Well, first of all, both is, alhamdulillah, is very good. But we know from the traditions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that the one who gives regularly, does a good deed regularly, there's a great reward in store for that, right? And so the other thing about that is, for as an organization, any organization, Humaniti, any big charity, Shahid Afridi Foundation, consistency is important because it allows you to have a steady flow of donations and fund the work. So if we're only relying on Ramadan, it becomes a challenge because people are hungry, Brother Ovais, as you know. You were with us, mashallah, in Pakistan. You were kind enough to spend some time with us. Every single day there's a need. And so if we're only donating in Ramadan, brothers and sisters, we're missing the opportunity for the other 11 months of the year. And so we would encourage people to, it also doesn't hurt as much when we give a little bit, right? On a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis. The great thing about Humanity is we have a platform where people can donate quite literally, daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, you name it. Whatever is easy for you, you want to have that consistency.
Yes, the consistency. جیسے ناظرین اللہ اس کے رسول نے بھی فرمایا کہ عمل تھوڑا لیکن متواتر ہو تو اس کی ویلیو جو ہے وہ بڑی ہوتی ہے. ناظرین آئیے ایک اور ویڈیو کلپ آپ کو دکھاتے ہیں ہیومینٹی کے اس کار خیر کے کام میں کون کون سی ایسی شخصیات شامل ہیں جن کو میں اور آپ جانتے ہیں.
پاکستان کے بہت زیادہ علاقوں میں پینے کا صاف پانی ایک بہت بڑی لگژری سے کم نہیں.
یہ سارے بچے انہوں نے پتہ نہیں زندگی میں آخری مرتبہ صاف پانی کب پیا تھا. اگر یہ روزانہ صاف پانی پئیں گے.
We can save children from diseases like diarrhea. We can save children from hepatitis just by bringing clean waters in their lives. Let's come together
for clean drinking water
and help humanity save humanity.
جی ناظرین دیکھیں یہ ایک ایسی خوشائن بات ہے کہ وہ لوگ جو ہمارے ملک سے تعلق نہیں رکھتے. Firaaz Azeez is not from Pakistan, he's from a different country. He doesn't speak Urdu language but he visited Pakistan and his team is serving the humanity in Pakistan. That is a great news for you. For me, ہم اللہ کا شکر ادا کرتے ہیں کہ اللہ تبارک و تعالیٰ نے ان لوگوں کو چنا اور ایسے پلیٹ فارمز ہمیں فراہم کیے کہ میں اور آپ اپنے گھر بیٹھے امریکہ، کینیڈا، برطانیہ wherever we are ہم اپنے گھر سے بیٹھ کے 5, 10, 15, 20, $50 ڈونیٹ کرتے ہیں اور میرے اور آپ کے ملنے والے ہمارے پاکستانی جو مشکل کا شکار ہیں وہ اس طرح سے بینیفٹ ہوتے ہیں. We just spoke about it, the impact of humanity in Pakistan, but I know humanity has projects around the world. So what is your next other country or other challenge that you are seeing that Ummah is facing?
The reality of it is that when we look across the globe, Brother Ovais, as you know, conflict, wars, and of course climate change has impacted. Places like, of course, Pakistan has faced the brunt of it with the flooding. And we know now in Pakistan there's also some more flooding right now. The reality of it is that when we look across the globe, we have a lot of nations that are struggling. When we look at Africa, of course, we know what's going on in Somalia right now. We know what's going on in South Sudan. So humanity has been working in these countries. But in fact, when we first started, we started working in Yemen, and we continue to work in Yemen. Many people tend to forget that Yemen is still considered today the greatest humanitarian crisis on the planet is still Yemen. 20 plus million people are literally on the verge of starvation. And so we've been working there. Food is a necessity. We talk about food, we talk about healthcare, we talk about education, we talk about water. But without food, we can't really talk about much. So we've been working in Yemen, we've been working in Somalia. We know what happened with the earthquake. In fact, after I left Pakistan, I went to Gaziantep in Turkey to see the impact of what was going on with the earthquake. So we've been working there. So I mean, the message is that there's a need, as you know, Brother Ovais, all across. You've traveled the world. There's a great need all across. Humanity is an organization that allows you as a donor to support the needs of people in need all across the globe. And this, I think, is really important for a small Canadian organization to have that kind of impact. Is that if you're interested in supporting the people of Syria, we all know what's happened in Syria for beyond 12 years, the people of Turkey, the people of Palestine, the people of Africa, of course the people of Pakistan, then Humanity is an organization that allows you to do that.
So in order to promote the culture of volunteerism, in order to promote the culture of becoming part of a success and do the work of khair, how Humanity is providing this platform in Canada, and especially now you are expanding in the US?
Alhamdulillah, that's a great question. The reality of it is that, domestically, even though the bulk of Humanity's work is global, domestically we have many programs that we run in. Some may know that we run a backpack program. We've got that coming up in a few weeks. So there's always opportunities domestically to actually come out and volunteer. But the other part, of course, is that the fact that by being in Canada, you have an opportunity to support the work that we do across the globe. You mentioned the US Humanity, mashallah, is expanding its reach into the United States. We're based in Dallas, in Dallas, Texas. And so besides the fact that people can give money, which of course is important, people can give their time, at a minimum, the opportunity to come onto your amazing show and talk about the work. So people today have a great network to promote the work of Humanity, because at the end of the day, what are we trying to do? We're trying to spread some good.
No, mashallah, this is great, and we wish you all the best, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts all of your effort, your team. I know you've got an amazing team. There are a lot of people in the background, those who are making it possible around the world. So since we spoke a lot about Pakistan, and you're expanding your work in Pakistan, now you're getting into America, and America has a big population of overseas Pakistanis. So how would you attract them, and what would you tell them where the focus is should be going forward?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think a couple of things. Number one, we talk about the emergency food in Pakistan. Everybody knows about that. But one thing that I took away from Pakistan, Brother Ovais, in my visit is access to clean drinking water.
Right.
This is something that is, it's a base, you know, water is a source of life. And so one of the things I know for the diaspora, not just in Canada but the United States, is that Humaniti is absolutely committed to making sure that we can provide access to clean drinking water, not just in Karachi and Islamabad and Lahore, but in Balochistan and in the villages throughout the country. And this is something that we have a very strong focus in. It's something that we were going to be working with Shahid Afridi Foundation on. We work with a number of agencies. We're absolutely focused on being able to provide access to clean drinking water because, as you know, clean drinking water has an effect on the body. It has an effect on learning. It's a social determinant of health. And so this is something, quite frankly, that I think anyone would be interested in supporting. And Humaniti is leading that charge, inshallah. You'll see a lot more about clean drinking water and the work that we're doing in terms of bringing technology, water technology to Pakistan. And this is by Pakistanis in Pakistan. So we're very excited about that.
Awesome, mashallah. Brother Firaaz, thank you so much for giving us your time. And once again, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make things easy for you.
Jazakallah. Thank you so much for having us.
नाज़रीन, आपने सुना किस तरह से ह्यूमैनिटी दुनिया भर में अपना किरदार अदा कर रही है. जो मेरे और आपके लिए जो मैसेज है वो ये है किस तरह से हम इस मूवमेंट का हिस्सा बन सकते हैं. मेरे और आपके बस में क्या है? जो सबसे आसान चीज़ मेरे और आपके बस में है वो अपने डॉलर्स देना है, यानी अपनी ज़कात, अपनी खैरात, अतियात इनके हवाले करना है ताकि उनकी ज़िम्मेदारी ये उठाएं. और जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा कि आपके अगर अतियात हैं, अगर वो बर वक्त किसी मुस्तहिक तक नहीं पहुँचेंगे तो उसका माना वो नहीं रहेगा. शायद मैं और आप हर एक की मदद डायरेक्टली नहीं कर सकते. ह्यूमैनिटी जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म्स का हमें सहारा लेना पड़ता है. नाज़रीन, इनकी वेबसाइट को ज़रूर एक्सप्लोर कीजिएगा. और जिन बच्चों का, स्कूल के बच्चों का इन्होंने जिक्र किया, क्लीन वाटर का जिक्र किया, अपने प्यारों के नाम पर, अपने जो है वो वालिदैन के नाम पर, जो मरहूम हैं उनके हवाले से सदका जारिया के लिए आप अपना किरदार ज़रूर अदा कीजिएगा. नाज़रीन, अगले हफ्ते आपसे फिर मुलाकात होगी. अस्सलामु अलैकुम.
सबकी हेल्थी लाइफ के लिए ग्रीनिश नेचुरल हेल्थ, ग्रैंडपा, हस्बैंड, किड्स और वाइफ के लिए ग्रीनिश नेचुरल हेल्थ. एक टैब दे इन्हें दिन भर की एनर्जी और पूरा दिन रखे इनको एक्टिव नेचुरली. एक डोज से बेहतर इम्यूनिटी, एक डोज से सब फिट रहे all day long naturally. Greenish natural health, healthy living for the whole family.
मज़ीद मालूमात के लिए विजिट करें अपनी करीबी फार्मेसी या हमारी वेबसाइट www.greenish.com.
देखिए ई-आवाज़ टीवी लाइव तमाम IPTV बॉक्सेस पर पाकिस्तानी या उर्दू सेक्शन में, या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट कीजिए eawaz.com.